Welcome to Paperweights, the podcast where two self-proclaimed gym rats and shooting enthusiasts delve into the world of literature with a sprinkle of humor. Although their biceps could crush a walnut, don't let that intimidate you. They also have a nerdy side. Mike and Brandon have a voracious appetite for reading, particularly in the fantasy genre, and they want to share their passion with you. So grab your protein shake and your favorite novel and join us for a humorous and insightful journey into the world of books with Paperweights.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Paperweights. I am one of your hosts, Mike.
And I am the other host, Brandon.
So, Brandon, I understand you went to a concert last night.
I absolutely did. Yeah, I went out to Biloxi and saw Tool. It was actually my sixth Tool concert.
I was about to ask, how many times does that make that you've seen them?
Yeah.
Bless you. Twice. Okay, are you dying or you got it under control? Because I'll give you two. After that, get your life together.
9 is my record.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no. So 6 Tool concert, 5 of them I've been to with my dad.
That's cool.
Yeah, he came last night. It was funny. I called him yesterday morning and was like, "Hey, Tool concert tonight. You excited?" And he's like, "What? They're playing tonight?" And I was like, "Yeah, we're playing in Biloxi, and we're going." And he was like, "We are?" I was like, "Yeah, you paid me for a ticket." He's like, "No shit."
That's funny.
And so he's like, "Oh, all right. Well, I guess I got to change my plans for today."
That's great.
So he met us out there. I rode out with one of the black belts from jiu-jitsu, who I've kind of gotten a little close to, and become friends with. So I was like, "Hey, you want to go? I know you like Tool. You want to go?" He goes, "Yeah, let's do it." So yeah, we have floor seats. I don't know why this time specifically. So the floor seats, they're all just flat level.
Right. Yeah.
But every person that was directly in front of me was over 6 foot tall.
So you're doing this, trying
to yeah, like I could move to the left to see around the guy in front of me, and I could like see I could see Adam Jones, and then like Maynard moved from side to side, depending on the song. But like if I went to the left, I could see Adam. If I went to the right, I could see Justin. And then like depending on which direction the people in front of me were leaning, I had to go right or left to see Danny, the drummer. But it was a lot of fun. I really enjoy them, and I really enjoy their no cell phone policy. And because like anytime like Tool or any other Maynard's bands, he really enforces a strict no cell phone policy. And they will like, if you get caught filming something, you're kicked out. Like no second chances. No, hey, put your phone away. It's hey, you're out.
So do they give y'all like the little Faraday bags or something, or do they just say if we see you with your phone, you're done?
Yeah, if you pull your phone out and are recording anything, you're done. So but he does a lot, like the last songs or the last song, he'll be like, "All right, you guys were good. You can pull your stupid cell phones out now." And like, dude, I can't tell you. I have a picture. I'll send it to you later. But you can count like no fewer than 30 cell phones in this one picture I took. So like, I don't pull my phone out to record the song.
Right.
I just pull it out to take a picture with the stage in the background with whoever I'm with, just as a, oh yeah, we were there.
Right.
You know, because I'm not going to go back on my phone and watch them play this song with 50 billion other cell phones in the shot, you know.
And it doesn't ever sound good. Like if you go back and try to like listen to it on your phone, it's like this sounds like garbage. So
Right. So, but
Like,
yeah,
does
that was
anybody that
fun.
records those, like, if anybody that records concerts, do they think it actually sounds good later? Like, they're posting it on social media. Do they actually think it looks and sounds good? Because it looks terrible. It sounds like garbage. Like,
Yeah.
just stop, because you're like, nobody cares that you're there, and like, it doesn't
Plus,
sound good.
plus you're degrading your experience at the concert by
Mhm.
instead of watching it live right in front of you with a
Right.
full wide screen and everything going on, you're watching it through the screen of your phone.
People are so dumb.
Either you're watching it through the screen of your phone or whatever you're recording it looks like
Mhm.
shit because you're not
Because
paying
it's moving
attention.
around.
But I'll tell you, like, there's lazy if you've never been, there's like it gets better and better, like the years as the years go by and they add more stuff and technology increases. There's like laser lights, there's parts of songs where like it just gets real hard. And I'm just talking about the music, but the lights real bright. And there was one time where the lights, it was almost as if the house lights went on, but they
Mhm.
weren't. Um, and so I just looked around at every everything, everybody in the stands, and I was like, dude, everybody's into it. And
Right.
this was not the cell phone song, by the way, but I was like, man, this is just a bunch of 10,000 people just having fun.
Yeah, I like Danny. Danny's one of the best drummers alive right now.
Dude, his arms are so long.
Well, he's like 12 feet tall.
Yeah,
Like, there's a cool video of him, and I don't remember if it's University of Kansas or somebody. He's at a basketball game.
he loves basketball.
Yeah, well, so he's at this basketball game, and the pep band lets him sit in on the drums for a song, and the drum is set is obviously set up for that school's drummer. So here's Danny, like, all 6'6" with his freaking gorilla arms, trying to sit in on this little kit. He's playing like this, and he's still a monster. Like, I fully admit I am like the most casual Tool fan ever. Like, I've never been to a Tool concert. Don't plan on going to a Tool concert. I couldn't name you 5 songs of theirs. I appreciate their music, but I'm like, whatever. But Danny's one of the best drummers alive right now. Some of the way he moves through different time signatures and makes it all fit, it should not be humanly possible, and he manages to do it.
His drum kit
It's
on,
insane.
on the tools sets is insane. So you look up the song Chocolate Chip Trip. It's from the latest album, Fear Inoculum, and it is just him. And he usually plays the song on tour now. I think all three concerts I've been to since their last album came out, he has played this song coming out of intermission.
Yeah.
And it starts off, he's got this gigantic, I think it must be like a 5 or 6 foot wide gong, like diameter gong.
Mhm.
And so he starts and it's just hanging and he's got drumsticks and he's just like uh drumming on the gong in different
Mhm.
areas, making different sounds and everything. And then um once that part is over, he takes a huge mallet and just and
Mhm.
it goes to his drum set. And he's got like I don't know what it is. It's some type of uh, electronic board
Yeah.
with knobs and things on it that's
Mhm.
right by his drum kit.
Yeah.
And then he's got like a MIDI. Uh, it looks like a keyboard that's behind him as
Mhm.
well. So he's got all sorts of stuff. Probably like 50 drums on the kit.
Yeah, he's
And
got his drum set is gigantic. It looks like Matt Portnoy's from Dream Theater. Like, it's with all the different stuff he's got going on with it, it's huge.
yeah, and so like it's just him on
Hmm.
none of the other band members are up there. And so he's going on and then he's tweaking all these things with the
Yep.
the thing. And I'm like, meanwhile, the background, which is like they usually have a lot of visuals.
Hmm.
But during that song, when he's on the drum in the drum kit, there is a overhead camera pointing down,
Mhm.
and the background is showing that, but it's almost like a kaleidoscopic effect as well. Um, and it's rotating as it's
Uh-huh.
going. So it's like, this is pretty cool. You're just watching him do all these things, and you're like,
Yeah.
well, what in the hell?
Yeah,
Um,
his, he seriously is one of the he's one of the top probably one of the top 5 drummers alive right now, but he's probably I'd put him top 10 overall lifetime. Like, his skills are insane.
I would love to, yeah, like John Bonham is another one of my favorite drummers. And I would love to see Danny Carey play Moby Dick, play John Bonham's
Mhm.
Moby Dick solo, drum solo.
John Bonham would have he was a monster whenever he died. If he wouldn't have died, he was only getting better. He would
Oh
like
yeah.
he hadn't even reached his final form yet whenever he died. It makes me sad to think what he could have been,
Hmm.
because like he was just progressively getting better and better, and then he dies, and it's just like that's such a loss. Like,
Yeah.
it's almost it's sad. But yeah, him and obviously like Neil Peart. Um, there's a few like Dave Weckl. Well, Dave Weckl doesn't get enough respect for what he's done for drumming, but Dave Weckl's drum set would make Danny's look like a kid's toy.
And
It's huge. Like Dave Weckl's he's a studio percussionist. He doesn't play with any bands. He's like
okay.
a solo artist, but he's been around forever, and
I
he's
hadn't heard that
nuts.
name. Every other name you dropped, I've heard of, but
But
that one was like,
unless you are in the drumming world, you're not going to know who Dave Weckl is. It's like there's a drummer called Zorro. Not too many people that aren't drummers have ever heard of him. I actually got to meet him. We kept passing each other at this drumming convention. And like the third time he looked at me, he's like, dude, are you following me?" I was like, "Not unless we're just going opposite directions every single time." And we ended up like just meeting up at another booth and having a conversation. I've got his autograph somewhere. Yeah. I got Mr. Vic Firth from Vic Firth Percussion. I have his autograph. That's pretty dope.
yeah, I was I'm not really a poster collector,
Hmm.
but I was thinking about buying the poster from the concert last night because each show they have a different artist um, make a poster for that specific
Well, that's
show.
cool. Hmm.
Um, just kind of like the poster for one. I don't know if I ever showed you the poster for one I have on the wall, but when I was like, "Hey, how much are the posters?" The guy goes, "These are signed. They're 350." It's like, okay. Then later on, I did learn your video cut out.
Yeah, it's again, it like just randomly connected to my phone. I don't know why.
uh, but they had unsigned posters for 80 bucks. But I'm glad that the guy was just like, yeah, these are 350. I was like, okay, yeah, I don't need that.
Mhm.
So I didn't spend any money except for this $50 shirt. Um, but yeah, so yeah, I mean, I like Tool, but I like a whole lot of other bands. So I like,
Mhm.
I could sit there and talk about different bands, whatever it brings up.
Mhm.
Uh, I know Tool fans get a bad rap for like, oh my God, you're just so obsessed with this and blah blah blah. You think they're the best, blah 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 blah. I'm like, well, I think they're pretty good. Like, I think they work well as a unit. I think each member of the band is very talented. Um, you look at Maynard, and he's in 3 bands. He owns a winery. He owns a vineyard. He owns an Italian restaurant. He owns a company that makes wheat, or not wheat, but pasta.
Mhm.
Like, he ships wheat to a place that makes pasta. So he's like got all these ventures, right? Um, Adam Jones, the guitarist, before he got famous as a guitarist, he did special effects and makeup and set design for movies like Ghostbusters 2,
That's cool.
Terminator 2, Judgment Day, Jurassic Park, Batman. Like, you got all these excellent things, and Danny and Justin are off doing their things too.
Mhm.
So yeah, they're just producer. They're contributing stuff to. to the world. And
Mhm.
I appreciate that whenever I do see it. So, but
Right on. Yeah,
yeah,
I
so
don't think there's any band out there that I like enough to see 6 times though.
I'd love it. It's an experience.
Yeah, well, I say like my mom has seen the Oak Ridge Boys like probably 5 or 6 times. She loves the Oak Ridge Boys. Anytime they've come close to her or like relatively close, she's gone to see them. Actually, one of my high school classmates was there. He's a sound producer, so like he goes on tour with different bands and does sound for them. I don't think he's ever toured with Tool, but he's toured with a bunch of big names. But he was the sound guy for the Oak Ridge Boys for like 5 years. And so
Hmm.
she actually got to catch up with him on one of the shows she went to. So
Cool,
that
cool.
was kind of fun.
All right, so let's move on so we don't sound like Tool fanboys.
Well, that would just be you. I'm not a. I can talk music, but so I
But
know that on our last episode I said I was gonna like look up all this stuff. I was literally the next day, like not even the next day, like probably 3 hours after ending our podcast, just came down with the worst sinus cold mess, and it put me down for 2 days. Today is the first day that I have felt normal. I was sick all day Friday, all day Saturday, just
that's fine.
miserable.
I'm glad you're better.
Yeah, me too. Because I didn't. I mean, it was the man flu, so it was rough, dude. I wasn't sure I was gonna make it.
I'm also grateful that I still have a voice after last night. So,
I
um,
usually can't hear or speak the day after going to a concert.
oh, same. But this time I am able to. I wanted to show I ordered a couple of the Year of Sanderson subscription boxes that I
Hmm.
didn't pay for. So the Kickstarter, you could get all 12 months, which was like, I think 600 something dollars.
Hmm.
But I was like, or you could do the four boxes that had the books in it
Hmm.
for like 200. And I was like, I just really want the books. I want the other stuff, but I can't justify paying $650.
Right.
So, but they posted some. Uh, they had some leftover boxes of certain months, and there was a Stormlight box, and I was like, "Hey, that's cool." And then there was just a Brandon Sanderson box, which had a hardback edition of a short story
Hmm.
that wasn't he didn't announce. It was just a surprise on that last month,
Right.
and so I ordered that one so I would have the copy of that book. But the Stormlight box, it actually has this bottle opener
That's cool.
that's one of the shard blades from that series, and we'll get into that. So you'll learn about shard blades, but like this is really cool stuff. Like
Yeah, that's really
anything
dope.
that ever does anybody that ever creates anything like this, it's like, okay, how did you find somebody to make that for
Right.
you? And it's just like that is a one of a kind thing. Like
Hmm.
awesome. And then there was this little Bridge 4 messenger bag. So when we get to that series later this year, you will become familiar with Bridge 4.
It looks like a logo from Zelda or something.
Yeah. So this is the Bridge 4 rune. Um, there was a art one of my maces, the 16 kilogram mace that I
Mhm.
have. Um, I have a stylized, not this exact look, but there's a
Right.
stylized version of that rune from Bridge 4 that was etched with a Dremel onto it. So,
Right on.
but yeah, so we do know that the second Dune movie is coming out.
Yes, the
Yeah.
second Dune is coming out. Very excited about that because I loved the first movie.
Hmm.
I did not know going into it that it was going to be part one. So I watched, like, fully admit, I watched the movie, then read the book. And when I read the book, I was incredibly happy that they broke it into two movies because it actually, in my opinion, did a really good job of following the first half of the book.
That's what I've been told. I believe it or not, I have not read Dune. I need to read Dune.
I think we talked about that once, that you haven't read Dune. It
Yeah.
it is. it is one of the more interesting like sci-fi books I've read.
And
Like
you only
I
read
still I still put it probably top five sci-fi books that I've read. And I haven't, I mean, that's not saying a lot. I haven't read a ton of like
Mhm.
strictly sci-fi books, but it's probably top five or six of books that I've ever read, period.
And you only read it after you watched the movie, right?
Yeah.
Is that what I heard? Okay.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, it's definitely on my list to read. Um, what else? There's something else I was gonna say.
Well, no,
Yeah,
they're already selling pre-sale tickets for Dune for the second one, or for part two rather.
uh, for the theater showing.
Hmm.
Yeah, I got a friend. One of my buddies does jujitsu. He's the manager of a theater over here. So, like, I've only paid for one movie ticket in like 2.5 years.
Nice.
And that was just because he was out of town when I was like, hey, I want to see this movie. Um, I try not to hit him up so often, and I give him gifts every now and then, and I'll buy concessions.
Right.
Um,
Have you seen Dune 1, yeah?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I saw the first one.
Hmm.
I streamed it whenever it came out. I also seen the David Lynch version,
Yeah.
which is very strange.
Yes, it is very strange. Fun fact, the original, and I hate that I just said fun fact, the original screenplay for Dune was actually written and they had the entire storyboard done, but it never went to production. Was actually done like 8 or 9 years before Star Wars.
That was
And well, you can go
keep
like
talking,
you, huh?
keep talking.
You can go back and find like some of the original pictures from the original storyboard and see where they actually like borrowed the designs for some of the stuff from the original Dune in things like Star Wars and oh crap, there's another sci-fi thing that came out around that time. But anyway, there's several different aspects from the original storyboard drawings that since that movie never went to production, some other producers were like, we're just gonna borrow that for our movie.
Yeah, so I think I had never watched this documentary, but
Hmm.
my friend Jason that games with us and DMs a lot, he's a big Dune fan.
Hmm.
But there's a documentary came out in 2013, 2014 called
Hmm.
Jodorowsky's Dune.
Uh-huh.
And so like in 1970,
The 8 hour version that was never produced.
yeah, it's like 1975, a Chilean director Alejandro Jodorowsky was working
Hmm.
on this, and it never came. And I think that might be
Yep.
the one version you're talking about.
Yep.
So yeah, it might be
It,
worth watching that documentary.
it was going to be an 8 hour long movie, but
Holy shit.
it was seriously going to be like a page for page copy of the book
Yeah, I would tell you
because he loved the book that much. He was like, I'm doing the entire thing, like leaving nothing out.
the David Lynch version. Um, when you get to the second half, where he is, was man, what did he call himself?
He's a writer.
No, what did Paul Atreides? What did he call himself
I don't remember.
with the Sand People?
I
He
don't remember
became he
what
became
his
their god or
uh
whatever.
he wasn't it wasn't a god. He he was like one of their leader. He basically kind of became a leader because he could ride he could ride the worms, and that's when they finally kind of accepted him as what they what the
Yeah,
prophecy said he was going to be. I can't remember the name offhand.
yeah. So man, why Paul Atreides? When it got to that part where he was leading them into war,
Hmm.
I was like, I didn't get a sense of time skip.
Right.
Uh, oh, Muad'Dib. He
Yeah,
called
Muad'Dib. Yeah.
Muad'Dib. Uh, in the David Lynch version, all of a sudden he's just like leading this army, and they've got the little things coming out of their nose and all this stuff. I'm like, how did we get here?
Like, what just happened?
It's like, I don't understand what's going on.
Am I taking
Uh,
spice? I don't understand what's going on right now. Yeah,
uh,
so I'm excited for Dune 2. If it's anywhere close to the first one, it's going to be spectacular. It's going to be a great movie.
the first one was really good. I only watched it once. I need to watch it again.
Yeah, I watched it. I watched it in theaters twice because I watched. Yeah, I did. I loved it so much, and it was I watched it, and then I liked it so much I went back like 2 days later and watched it again. But I was unemployed, so it was the matinee because I could just go while the girls were in school. So I'd go to
Mhm.
like the very first showing because it got out like right when the bell rang. So I'd go watch some like a and like the second the credits rolled, I just bailed to go get in the truck and go get the girls. And then
Trying to,
I've probably seen it like twice on HBO after that. It's I liked it that much.
damn.
I mean,
Yeah, I used
it
to
sounds like a
rewatch
lot, but
movies.
then I've seen The Princess Bride like 15 times. So like I can't really say that like watching a movie 4 times is a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. I used to rewatch movies all the time, and
Mhm.
nowadays it's like I'll watch it and go, oh, cool, and like I'll always want to rewatch them,
Mhm.
but I'm like, I'm gonna spend time on something else, something new. Um,
Like I've seen like whenever we actually had cable, I'd be flipping through cable, and if Bloodsport was on, I would stop what I was doing and watch Bloodsport from whatever moment it picked up just until the end. I've probably seen
um,
that movie a half dozen times too.
let's see, other sci-fi. Did you watch Rebel Moon Part One?
I did. It was just okay for me.
Yeah, I
It was like super. There was a couple parts that were like super cheesy.
yeah, it was entertaining.
It was entertaining. I didn't
They
understand when they went to go get the guy that was like supposed to be some.
spoil is this a spoiler?
Not if
We
they've
should warn people.
if they've seen like, it's Rebel Moon's been out long enough that there should be no spoilers for this. When they went to go get the guy that ended up riding the winged creature, I didn't understand why he was important at all. Like no, I'm more interested in in that lead girl, the lead female. I'm more interested in learning more about her because real right so far she's the only one they've built any interest around.
Yeah,
So I don't care about the other characters.
I think it had potential, but the fact that they had so many characters
Hmm.
that they needed to gather for a team,
Yeah, it was just
I
it
think
was so much.
it took away too much
Hmm.
from making part one a complete movie, right?
Yeah.
So like if it wasn't if they didn't break it up into parts one and part two and they
Hmm.
just had a full movie, then I
Yeah.
feel like they could have broken up the collecting of the
Hmm.
team uh, a little bit better and didn't feel like rushed.
Yeah.
It felt like part one was all right. We got to get this team together. Here's this movie is
Mhm.
about collecting everybody, and it
And
was
they didn't spend enough time like explaining to people. Like it was like, hurry up and get to this person, he's important. Okay, hurry up and get to this next person, he's important. I mean, it's like
right.
you're saying, it's like it was like, hurry, hurry, hurry. Okay, now what? Like,
And
oh,
the convincing of these people to come with them seemed kind of too easy.
yeah, exactly.
So, but
Like, especially
part
the main
two,
guy with the army, he was supposed to be like the hardest one to convince, and it was like they're basically like, please. He was like, okay,
he's like, I'll go.
yeah,
But part two of that is coming out April.
yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. I could see it as a like I think the framework of that story,
Hmm.
especially like part one, I think that works well as a video game,
Probably would have
where
worked better as a series.
a series or a video game,
Yeah.
right? Because like it's like, all right, here's your task. Go convince
Hmm.
this person. to join your team and so forth.
Right.
Let's see what else we got. Uh, I didn't get to go see it, but Godzilla minus zero
Oh,
is apparently the
it is
best
supposed to be
Godzilla.
phenomenal.
Like, yeah, if it weren't for it being subtitled, I would have taken Jules or my wife
Mhm.
and be like, "I'm sorry, we're going to see this." But
I
because
might
it
I
was,
might go see it by myself because I know it's still in theaters here, and I really want to go see it. I might just because
I
I'm
need to
the only
check.
one that likes monster movies in my house.
Yeah,
So,
it's weird. I love Godzilla movies,
mhm,
but like but I don't sit there and watch. I've watched all the recent ones.
mhm,
Um, and I actually really like was Kong Skull
yeah,
Island. I like that one. It got shit on a lot, but I thought it was
it was fun.
entertaining.
Have you
Um,
seen Monarch? Do you have Apple TV?
we have Apple TV. I have it on my watch list. Um,
It's so good.
yeah, I want to watch it, but we're trying to get through. We want to finish Peaky Blinders before
Mhm.
we move on to another series. Because my wife and I, she gets annoyed with me because my wife will just she'll watch through shows, but
Mhm.
I can too, but I don't have like a set schedule of like, all right, every day I'm going to watch TV. There's some days
Right.
where I don't even turn the TV on. Like I
Yeah.
don't turn it on, right?
Mhm.
And there may even be weeks, a week might go by where I didn't actively turn the TV on to
Right.
watch something. Um,
Yeah.
and
We
so
we
it's
don't- we
just
usually don't watch TV during the week. Usually, if we have enough bandwidth to even think about watching TV, it's not until Friday because I get up at like 5, like I get up at like 5 every morning so I can do my journaling and all my stuff that I like to do in the mornings. And then we're in bed by like 9:30 at the latest. And there's really not but by the time we get the kids settled and in bed, it's like a half hour till 9 o'clock. So there's not really anything to sit there and watch in that time frame. And then if I watch TV like right before bed, my mind just keeps going for the next hour anyway. So I try not to do that.
yeah. Um, so
But since you brought up Kong Skull Island, one thing that's really cool is so Kong Skull Island, Monarch, and the latest Godzilla movie, the one where he goes to San Francisco,
mhm.
they're all connected.
Well, even not just the latest Godzilla, the two. There's,
Well, so Monarch, Skull Island, and that Godzilla movie, they are all three purposefully connected.
and the Kong versus Godzilla.
The newest one,
Yeah, the
yeah,
one with Billy Bobby Brown.
I don't know if I think they're supposed to be. I think it's also supposed to be connected to the next Godzilla movie. I don't think the one with Millie Bobby Brown is connected to it.
So they let's see here.
And the only reason why I'm saying that these three are specifically connected, and I think they're going to be connected to the next Godzilla movie or the next Kong movie for sure, is
Well, there's
because they
Godzilla X Kong, the New Empire is going to be coming out.
yeah
That's the next one. Let's see. I know, was it 2014's Godzilla? Yeah,
yeah
2014's Godzilla. The sequel to that one. So Elizabeth Olsen was in that one.
hmm
Ken Watanabe was the doctor,
hmm
or Ken Watanabe. Uh, uh, the one that came after that, let's see here, Godzilla King of the Monsters. That's the sequel
okay.
to that one. So
I just know in
2014,
Monarch they don't mention that, like, they because so Monarch picks up right after the San Francisco movie.
which was King of Monsters, right?
Was that the one where they Halo jumped into San Francisco?
Um,
I'm pretty sure that's the one from 2014 with Elizabeth Olsen.
2014 has Elizabeth
Yeah.
Olsen.
So Monarch picks up basically the day after, they call it G Day in that movie. So it basically picks up like the day after that.
Yeah. So if those two are related, the
Mhm.
Godzilla King of the Monsters is a sequel to the 2014 Godzilla.
Right, but but in the movie they or in the show they make no mention of that. That's the only reason why I'm specifically saying those three are connected, because
It might,
they make specific references to the events from Skull Island and the first Godzilla movie.
yeah. So it might have King of the Monsters might chronologically become come after
Maybe.
Monarch. Because they do reference Monarch. Because King of the Monsters is when Mothra comes.
I honestly, full disclosure, I don't think I've seen King of the Monsters, so now I'm going to watch it.
Dude, it's badass. Like I pulled it up on the screen right here and it's showing me the trailer. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I forgot that. And the like the graphics are great.
Yeah.
For some reason, there's always rain.
It's got to. Because Godzilla does his own thing. Like he impacts everything.
And Kyle Chandler is in the yeah, Kyle Chandler and Ken Watanabe are in King of the Monsters.
Cool.
Like, and Ken Watanabe reprises his role as Dr. Sarazawa.
Okay.
So they're definitely
They're definitely tying it all in. So I want to go back and
yeah,
watch that movie now.
yeah. But Kyle Chandler's in there, and I know Kyle Chandler from a TV show called Early Edition.
Okay.
I don't know if you ever watched that, but
Nope.
the guy got tomorrow's newspaper today,
That's
and
funny.
his friend was played by Fisher Stevens, who he was the he was he's a white man, but he played an Indian, like a from India,
Hmm.
Asia. He played an Indian in the Short Circuit movies.
Okay.
He was also the chief security officer in the movie Hackers.
That is a great movie.
I watched that the other night
Hack the planet.
with my wife.
I almost messaged you because I saw you post the poster from Hackers, and I almost messaged you because that's another one that I've seen a bunch just because it's so great. Like I love that movie.
It is my guilty pleasure, and like I was 12
Yeah.
when I first watched it, and of course there's a topless scene with Angelina Jolie in it, and I was so as a 12-year-old I was like, ah.
I like this. This is good. I like this.
Yes, this is a good movie.
I, I like it
Um,
because there's some of that stuff in there that like people probably think that most of it's all Hollywooded up, but like the phone freaking and stuff like that, that used to actually work. Like
yeah,
that stuff was
and
legit.
I told my wife when that was happening. She's like, "What?" And I said, "Yeah, somebody discovered you take a the whistle from
Mhm.
Captain Crunch cereal, it produced the same tone that the payphones use to recognize that you paid,
Yeah.
and so then you get to make free phone calls." And she was like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "Yeah, that's one of the first instances of hacking."
Hacking.
But they called it phone freaks.
Yep.
Phone. Um, that movie is hilarious, though. And we're moving away from Godzilla, which is fine.
Yeah.
We're done talking about that anyway. Uh, one of the funny things in there is it says something like he got in trouble and went to court because he crashed 1500 and no 1307 computers in one day. I was like,
Right.
oh. And then at some point Matthew Lillard's character was like, man, like you could sit and be doing nothing and your name goes through like 15 computers in one day. Like, yeah.
That's why he was a serial killer.
as
Serial.
as in Fruit Loops.
As in Fruit Loops, yeah.
That
Oh
was one
man.
of my handles back in the day. I
Serial
serial
killer.
killer. Yeah. Serial killer.
Captain
What
Crunch.
what else we got? I just found this out. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire.
The so I also really liked the what was the last one? The one with Egon's grandkids in it. Where they were like at a farmhouse that Egon had owned, and then he died. It's the newest one.
Ghostbusters?
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually haven't watched any of the new Ghostbusters movies.
Oh, so the newest one, it came out 2 or 3 years ago now. Probably 2 years ago. I don't remember. I don't remember the name of it. Oh my god, it was amazing. Whatever it was, I don't remember the name because it had just enough of a storyline for like new people to like not have to worry about a lot of innuendos that are going over their heads. But there was also enough stuff to
Afterlife?
where yes, Afterlife. Highly recommend it. Highly.
I'll have to check it out.
If you liked the original Ghostbusters, like Ghostbusters 1, 2, and 3, if you liked those, you will love this one.
Okay. Madam Web comes out February 14th. That's in the kind of Sony Marvel universe. I don't know if you've seen
A
about
lot of
this.
I've seen a lot of the Marvel movies have kind of fell off for me. They just haven't really. I guess because there's not a definite like big bad that they're working towards.
Yeah.
Like I just haven't really been excited about seeing them in
Well, now
theaters.
they were working towards King, but with
Yeah,
Jonathan Majors, I don't know what they're going to be doing with that. So
like I don't know. That was supposed to be the big bad, and then they kind of messed that up. So, but I haven't been excited about it about as much because I don't know. I'll wait for them to come out on the like on streaming services, and I just haven't.
just go get you a theater manager friend.
If I could ever stay in one place long enough to make that connection, I probably would.
Or
And
just go.
it's not sci-fi or fantasy related, but I'm actually really excited about the new Roadhouse movie.
They, dude, I watched that trailer the other day and I was like, oh my God. And now I know why. Like I kept seeing the pictures of Conor McGregor
Yeah,
surface of him being 220 pounds or
just
something.
being jacked as all hell.
Why the hell did he decide to do it? I was like, oh, okay, now I see why
Yeah.
he's in a
See, and
fucking movie.
I
Like,
didn't realize he was going to be in the movie. Like I saw
I
him
didn't
being all
either.
huge too, and it's like they kept it under wraps that he was the bad guy in the movie.
Oh yeah, they totally kept that under wraps.
But
And like,
it
how
was I loved the first one. Everybody kept saying the first one was so cheesy it was bad, or so cheesy it was good. I was like, no, it was good for all the right reasons.
it was,
But
but like
if they do not have the line, or there's two lines they better have in that movie. That dog won't hunt because that was one of my favorite lines from Sam Elliott in that movie. And at the very end, if they don't have somebody say a polar bear fell on me, I'm going to riot because that line makes the movie. Polar bear fell. Did you see anything? Polar bear fell on me. It's great.
how badass is it for Jake Gyllenhaal to be the hero against Conor McGregor,
That's pretty good.
right?
I wonder if they're going to rip somebody's throat out in this one like they did in the original.
Maybe.
Be pretty dope.
What else we got coming up? Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. How you feel about Mad Max?
I haven't seen any of the new ones. Like never saw Fury Road, which I heard was absolutely fantastic, but I never saw it.
Dude, you need to watch Fury. Like,
That's what
all right,
everybody keeps saying. I just hadn't
it
seen it.
the story is very simple.
Hmm.
Like, it's a journey.
Right.
That's it. Like, but the cinematography, the visual effects, the audio,
Hmm.
the score, oh my God, like it is amazing.
Yeah, I've heard
And I
like
watched it in the
nothing but good
theater a
things
couple of
about it.
times.
I just
So,
hadn't been able to make it happen.
and Furiosa I think it's yeah, it's a prequel, so it's before Fury Road. So,
Gotcha.
and Anya Taylor-Joy is playing Furiosa in it. Um, so and Chris Hemsworth is in it as well. But I like I like this Anya Taylor-Joy. Like, she's like getting a whole lot more roles now
Hmm.
and becoming one of the bigger actresses these days. Um, my first exposure to her was The Queen's Gambit.
Okay.
Yeah, so she played the girl
Hmm.
in Queen's Gambit. Um, so I'm really excited about that. And a lot of these I'm actually just learning that these movies are coming out for the first time. And Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
So, dude, I watched Planet of the Apes,
Hmm.
and then I think was it Dawn of the
Dawn.
Planet of the
Yep.
Apes was the second one.
Hmm.
Then War.
I didn't see War. I saw
I
I saw
didn't
the
see
first
War
two.
either. I do have a digital copy of that because
Hmm.
my friend coworker bought it on Blu-ray or something. It came with
Hmm.
a free digital code,
Yeah.
and he gave it to me. I never watched it, but it was funny. The first two, my wife and I really love. So
Hmm.
the Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is actually the first movie that Jules went to, um, and she was like, she was an infant. She was still in her car seat,
Nice.
but she slept through the damn movies. Like after she was born,
Hmm.
we were watching Planet of the Apes at home,
Hmm.
and she would just like she was just watching the screen in her little chair, like, oh
Hmm.
my, like she was so captured by it. And then we
Well, it's all
brought
the
her with
all the lights and everything moving around. So
yeah, we brought her with us to see the second one in the theaters, and she was a good kid. She didn't make noise or
mhm.
anything, and she wasn't bothered by the loud noises. Um, but yeah, that series is really, really fun.
First movie that we took our kids to was Finding Dory, and it was the good thing was we saw it on base in Alaska, so it was free. It was like that base had free. You could get in the movie for free, and we always bought concessions to help support the theater. But my youngest made it like 20 minutes into the movie. So she and I left and we just went to the commissary and went because we had to go grocery shopping anyway. And then we just walked around, like we finished at the commissary, then went to the BX and kind of did our thing while the movie finished up. She was done. It probably took her like 3 or 4 years after that before she could actually sit through a movie. It was crazy.
Angel's been to so many movies now.
Busy
Uh,
just doesn't like to sit still. Like if she like getting her to sit still to watch a movie, it better be something she is super into. Otherwise, she's not going to do it.
um, there's a new Alien movie that's going to be coming out later this year. Alien Romulus.
Yes, they apparently are completely ignoring the last Aliens movie, and they're going to go
Was that
back.
Prometheus?
Yes, they're basically going to completely ignore that movie and go back to the alien being like not being like some like created being and be it just being like a an actual entity that comes in from somewhere else. Like, and they're supposed to make it look more like what did the review I said? They're supposed to make it look more like it's on VHS than like super. Yeah, it's supposed to be kind of gritty and grainy and like kind of like old school looking. So
I could get down with that.
it's but
Yeah,
I read that and I was like, that sounds pretty cool.
this snippet here says it's supposed to be set between the events of Alien and Aliens,
Hmm.
so that'd be cool. There's another Marvel movie in kind of the Spider-Verse, Craven the Hunter.
Yeah.
That's going to be coming out this year. I like Craven. So I remember Craven mostly from the 1990s Spider-Man cartoon,
Hmm.
and he was one of my favorite anti-heroes
Yeah.
in that cartoon. Dude, I loved all those Marvel cartoons from
Oh, they were great.
90s.
Yeah,
Um,
I think I could get more excited about it. Well, see, and I say like I want to go see Roadhouse and I want to go see some of this other stuff, but it'll end up coming out on streaming service, and I'll probably see it months after it hits streaming service.
yeah. I have a few more on this list. Let's see. Deadpool 3. Deadpool's fun. A Borderlands movie.
Deadpool's going to be fun because it's got Hugh Jackman in it too. So the interaction between Deadpool and Wolverine is going to be a lot of fun,
Yeah, that'll be fun. That'll be fun.
especially with all the
I love that Hugh
innuendos in the
Jackman
last
came
two
back.
movies.
Yeah. I love that Hugh Jackman came back for it.
Yeah.
Apparently, Ryan Reynolds was like, "No, you're coming to do this."
Well, I mean, it helps that they're buddies, like in real life, and I think like this probably the only Ryan Reynolds is probably the only dude that Hugh Jackman would have came back to do that role for
Yeah.
because he wanted to be done with it. Like he was like that's why he said like in Logan, like he wanted to be just completely done with Wolverine. And so I think when Ryan was like, "Come on, buddy, do this one for me, please," he was like, "Fine."
Yeah, I love taking there's a picture from the set of Hugh Jackman and the girl that played X-23 in Logan,
Yeah.
and he's all beat up, and they're holding a comic book,
Mm-hmm.
and they're in a car or something, and I share that picture sometimes. I was like, can we get a share and a like for this father who fought off some thugs who stole his daughter's comic book? It's just funny. There's some people that commented or shared like, "Oh, God bless him."
That's like that photo from Tropic Thunder that floats around, and they're like, "Can we get a like and share for our Vietnam veterans?" And it's like, dude, that's the picture, and people are like not catching. It's like, dude, that's Tropic Thunder. Like, let's pump the brakes a little bit.
That kind of stuff trolling is fun.
Oh, it's hilarious, but it's whenever my family starts sharing it and they think it's real, I'm like, come on, like, how's let's let's be serious for a second.
Oh, did you ever play any of the Borderlands games?
Mm-mm.
Uh, I love them. They're kind of a guilty pleasure. They're fun. The art style in the movies, not the movies, the games is
Mm-hmm.
um, interesting. You probably seen the art style. It's almost like I don't know how to explain it. But you can look it up. But um, there's a movie coming out in August. Apparently,
That's cool.
it's actually directed by Eli Roth. Um, Good director. I like Eli Roth's stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I know he directed the first Hostel movie.
Okay.
Now, I don't necessarily like gore porn like that,
Mm-hmm.
but
I've actually never seen Hostel.
yeah, don't.
I don't plan on. I saw the previews for it. I was like, eh.
Yeah, yeah. There's a scene where Achilles tendon gets
Ouch.
it's like stuck in my head forever.
Mm-hmm.
That is like it just makes me like
I'm excited about it's. I think it's coming out next year, but there's a new Highlander supposed to be coming out in 25 with Henry Cavill as Duncan MacLeod.
Okay, cool.
So I'm
I
pretty excited
used
about
to
that.
I remember when Highlander was kind of at its peak and I was
Mm-hmm.
young, but I was too young to watch it.
Mm,
But it was something that I was like, man, I want to watch that. Like that's something I want to be into, but I
right.
wasn't old enough to. And nowadays I'm just like, meh.
I
I think it's a
watched
product of its time. I don't think it aged well if you weren't into it
the
back then.
series didn't, and like the first to me the first movie and really the first two movies with Connor McLeod still hold up pretty good. The series didn't age super well, and then it was like there's a the third movie I think it was called like Highlander the Source or something like that. It was supposed to be like in this dystopian future. It that one was kind of cheesy, but the first two movies, like especially like the first one, obviously was great to me. So, but Henry Cavill is he's such a giant nerd
Hmm.
that like I loved him in The Witcher because he apparently was a huge fan of the books, and so like he would kind of go against the writers of the show to try to keep it more on pace with like the source material. Because that's why he ended up bailing on the show The Witchers because the third season was going to go really far away from the source material.
Okay.
And he tried to get them to bring it back, and they're like, no, we want it to go this direction. And so he was like, if you're not going to work with me on this, then we're just done. So
Gotcha. Yeah, most people are like, "Oh man, you should love The Witcher." I'm like, man, it was okay.
it's fun. That's all.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh my
I
god, it's
mean,
the best thing ever, but it's just fun.
yeah, the chick's really hot, or became really hot. Like,
Yennefer.
whenever that transformation happened, I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh my God!" Like, how did they make her so ugly?
Hey, those special effects people, man. They definitely get they're definitely worth however much they're getting paid.
Why?
And probably
Why
isn't paid enough.
names are escaping me. What is her?
I mean, her name in the show is in the series is Yennefer.
Yeah, Yennefer. Is it Yennefer Vangaba or something?
No idea.
Oh, gotcha. I I I played all three Witcher games, but I
Mhm.
never beat any of them. But
I tried to
I like the
play
franchise.
I tried to play The Witcher on Switch and just got so frustrated because the controls were so hard on the Switch because it's not like playing it like on a computer where you can
Hmm.
have like just single key buttons and easy access because you're doing it like this instead of like this on the
Yeah,
Switch. And I got so frustrated. I just quit playing.
and that was the you were playing the third one, the last hunt.
Yes.
Was it the last? It's the Wild Hunt.
Whichever one it was. What I played it like 5 or 6 times. I just got mad and stopped playing.
What else? Oh, I did. This is fun. I don't know which card deck this is, but I ended up buying some Disney Lorcana cards as a trading card game
Okay.
and Disney theme. So it's kind of like Magic,
Hmm.
but it's Disney cards. You got like
Nice.
Mickey Mouse. I have yet to play it yet, but I do plan on playing it and just having fun. I like Disney stuff.
Hmm.
Um, it's not for everybody, but I like Disney stuff. And my daughter likes Disney stuff, so if I gives me something, another thing to connect with her on.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, moving on from movies. I've been playing this game called Pal World over the last week, and it's a survival game, so kind of
Hmm.
like Rust or Ark, where you're or even Minecraft, where you're collecting materials,
Hmm.
building things, building bases, exploring, mining. Excuse me, mining stuff. But
Hmm.
they also have Pokemon
Yeah,
in
you
it.
said it was like like violent Pokemon, like
Yeah, you walk through the world, and they're the pals are just around the world, so you can
mhm,
attack them. You can throw a pal sphere, collect them. You can put them back in your base. They'll do work in the base for
mhm.
you. Um, and so I've been having a lot of fun with that.
Yeah,
So,
one of my buddies said it was probably one of his favorite games that he's played in recent memory.
oh, it is.
He said it's a lot of fun.
It's not even done. Like it's think it's still in beta,
Hmm.
but it's 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 addicting. And I can just sit there for a couple hours and play it, and like I hate this part of it where it's like, okay, I just need to do this task here and
Hmm.
then I'm done. And then that opens up. I'm like, oh well, I have all this stuff to do this one. I
Right.
might as well just do this one. And I was like, but I need to log off. And it's and then like 15 minutes later, I'm like, oh, I do need to log off.
Hmm.
15 minutes later, all right, no, this is the time I have to log off.
Right.
I got to keep myself in check with that kind of stuff.
I
So.
kind of felt that way about the Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
See, I bought that. I finally did buy that.
Did you?
I haven't even opened it up yet though.
Not, no, I'm sorry, not Tears. Tears of the Kingdom isn't frustrating for me. So I'm thinking Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the
Like
Wild, yeah.
I would be doing something on Breath of the Wild and be like, okay, once I finish this task, and like you finish that task and like, hey, since you've done that, do you mind doing this? And it's like, yeah, I can do that real quick.
Yeah.
And then an hour
That
later, you're like, okay, I got to stop right now.
exactly how I
Like
am with that.
Tears of the
I just-
Kingdom is like it's been frustrating because the bad guys, like all of the enemies, are just like so much stronger than they were in Breath of the Wild. Like things that should not be able to one shot you are just one shotting you for. It takes so long to build stuff up. It's so frustrating.
I no, I really enjoyed playing Breath of the Wild. I didn't beat it, but there was a point where I was doing all these side things. And I was like, you know what? I need to just advance the story.
Hmm.
So because I love the stories in like games with great stories.
Hmm.
That pleases me, even if it doesn't give me hours and hours of entertainment.
Right.
If I think the story is great, then it's like, okay, yeah, that's a great game. Other people want more of a sandbox where they can spend 50 to 100 hours just doing whatever. Um, I get kind of bored with that, but also I will at it sometimes do a lot of those open world things.
Right.
But then I'm like, okay, I've spent 40 hours in the game and I haven't gotten far in the story.
Mm.
All right, I'm done now. And I don't go finish the story. But
Yeah. That's kind
there
of the way
was
I've been with Tears of the Kingdom because like there's three different there's an underworld, the regular world, and then a sky world. And you have to do stuff in all three of them to progress. And it's just like the underworld is completely dark unless you hit all these little light roots to turn the lights on. And it's just like it's almost too much.
Mhm.
And I'm just like, and then stuff breaks super fast and it's very finding I love using arrows in Zelda. Like I love that's my go-to is a bow and arrow. And it's so hard to get resources in this game that I just get frustrated. And I'm like, I probably haven't I'm probably not even I bet I'm not even halfway through it. But I've done a lot of like the main quest on it. And I'm just like,
Mhm.
I don't really know if I want to go back and finish it or not.
Yeah, in Breath of the Wild, I was like, all right, I'm tired of all my weapons breaking. I'm gonna go get the Master Sword now, and so I went to
Mhm.
do that. And then di with that, like you have to have a certain number of hearts
Yeah.
to actually do it. And I was like, then it was like, all right, now I need to go. I don't have enough, so now I have to go grind to get hearts. I'm like,
Right.
I'm done. I'm not gonna sit here and grind right now.
Mhm.
I'm I just wanted to progress the story, and you know, you don't need the Master Sword. I don't think you need the Master Sword for that. You
No,
might,
it just makes it easier.
yeah, it makes it easier. And I was like, all right, whatever, done. So
Mhm. Yeah, the getting the Master Sword is in Tears of the Kingdom is kind of like a big part of the quest. It's a big part of the storyline too. But like I've gotten through it enough to get the Master Sword, and now I'm like, eh.
yeah,
Like basically the whole point from like now to the end of the game is just to beat the final character, but I don't care enough to like go through and grind and get enough hearts to not get one shotted by the final character.
there was I think it was Final Fantasy 13. It had lightning in it.
Hmm.
It was the one of the characters, and a lot of people didn't like it because they said it was a Final Fantasy game on rails. But I was really enjoying it. The story, like I was enjoying the story, and it was 30 hours in, and then
Hmm.
at 30 hours, it was like, all right, now there's a giant open world now, and you literally would have to spend like 20 hours in the open world building, like leveling up, making
Hmm.
yourself powerful enough to continue with the story. And like I just spent 30 hours invested in story, and now you're just like, all right, here's open world, and you have to grind. I'm like, you
Nope.
just halted you you put the brakes on your game right
Right.
here for me. I'm done. Like, but I mean, at that point, played 30 hours of it.
Right.
Uh, so, uh, yeah, I think we covered a bunch of stuff there.
Mhm.
I think we are gonna be doing Sunday brunch. I haven't eaten anything yet today.
I haven't either. I had to wake up, and I've been so our treadmill that we bought in Alaska, it survived 2 moves, and then for whatever reason, whenever we tried to use it here, it was like, "Nope, I'm done." So, I found one that we liked on Marketplace. I've been going back and forth with the person trying to coordinate a time to go get it, and because like, half of trying to find a thing on Marketplace now is making sure that it's an actual item and not just somebody trying to scam. Like,
Mhm.
that's 3/4 of trying to buy anything on Marketplace now, or selling anything on Marketplace for that matter. And so finally got it worked out to where I could go to their house today and pick it up. And it was raining, and then I caught a break in the weather, and then I get there, and I would have made it back for like the time we said that I was like, hey, I can start at this time. But then I got there and it was in their basement. So me and this lady's husband had to get this treadmill out of their basement and into my truck. And I was like, why? If you know you're selling something that's big and heavy, just go ahead and have it in the garage.
Mhm.
Like, don't make me come and get your stuff out of the basement for you. Like, that was not what I
S-
wanted to do today.
Speaking of that, there was a couple years ago we sold a piece of furniture. There's like uh, a coat rack thing that we had in the foyer,
Hmm.
and some chick wanted it, and so I was like, yeah. She says, well, can you hold it for this day? I won't have access to a truck, or my husband's coming back from deployment or something,
Hmm.
and we'll drive out there. I was like, sure. Well, when she shows up, she's borrowed somebody's truck and she's by herself. And I'm like, she's like, well, can you help me load it in the truck? I was like, okay. So loaded it in.
Hmm.
Um, and I was, I, she's like, just lean it on the edge of the cab. I was
Right.
like, it's like, no, we need to put something down so it doesn't scratch the truck.
Yeah.
So I did that, and then um, closed the thing. But what happened is it's longer than the bed of the truck,
Right.
and but it was just barely longer than it.
Hmm.
And then what happened? It shifted, and it got wedged between the tailgate and the rear windshield.
Hmm.
Um, and it was a relatively newer truck, and um, there was a motorized thing on for that part of the window, a
Hmm.
part of the window or whatever. Um, and when it shifted down, it went onto the windshield. So now all this pressure was there, and all of a
Hmm.
sudden we hear a click. And I was like, uh,
Bye.
and so then she like called somebody, and um, she's like, "Oh my gosh!" And I was like,
Have a
"Oh,"
nice day.
and like, "You good?" And she goes, "Yeah." And then like she left, and then she messaged me at some point after. She's like, "Excuse me, sir, I'm gonna need you to help me pay for this since it was your fault." I was like, "Well,
Block.
it's not my fault."
Hmm.
um, but I ended up just like um what I did. I wasn't even making much money. I didn't care about the money, making the money on the thing.
Right.
I priced it as something just to make something on it. Um, or get something for it.
Right.
So like I just told her, it's like, look, I'll here's your money back. Like you
Mhm.
keep the fucking thing and don't pay me for it. Like,
Right.
you're done. And then she was like, well, it's going to cost this much, blah 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 blah. And I was
Sounds
just
like a
like,
personal problem.
yeah. But as nice as I am, and like she wasn't batshit crazy because like she sent the message to me and
Mhm.
I left. I ignored it. I didn't even open it. So
Right.
what? I didn't leave her on read for 2 days, but 2 days went by and she didn't like message me again. So it
Mhm.
wasn't like a crazy. And so it's just like, look here. I feel bad for your situation. So I forget how much. I was like, here's $25 or
Mhm.
something like.
Right.
Here it is. And then she was like, thank you so much. It's a,
So you're
like
you're
whatever
you're
it was, it was just like here.
you're
And she
you're
was like,
better you're a better man than me because I'd have been like, nope.
yeah, but I'm nice like that. So
I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I'll do because I'm a nice guy. Like, yeah, I helped these people get this treadmill out of their basement today so I could buy it. But there's a lot of
I was
stuff
gonna,
I'm not going to do. Like, if we're loading something into your vehicle because you asked me to, and something breaks, that's on you, Bubba. I'm not sorry for you. That's what you got insurance for.
right, but it wasn't her truck.
Exactly. Hey, look,
I do. That's
so, hey, like,
don't
again,
borrow somebody's truck
hate it
and go
for you.
somewhere without bringing help. Like I was like, man, why did this guy, whoever it was, be like, yeah, you can take my truck to go get that thing.
And then just
Why
bail.
didn't why didn't he go, hey, I'll take my truck with you to go get that
Right.
thing? Like you got some asshole friends or whatever.
Well, like I kind of like the dude today. So I helped them get the thing out of the basement. They had to help me load it in the truck because my wife's in Kentucky today. And then I get home and I got my neighbor to help me get it out of the truck. But I would have had help if we could have coordinated the first time to go pick it up. But it was just there was too much back and forth. But anyway.
Yeah.
All right. So next episode will be book 3, Harry Potter, which is the Prisoner of
Prisoner of
Azkaban.
Azkaban. Yeah. We'll read the first 11 chapters and
It'll be,
discuss that.
I like Prisoner of Azkaban. Prisoner of Azkaban's a good book.
I think I remember enjoying it. We'll see how I feel this time.
Mhm. For me in the series, like it really book 3. Like I know we've kind of like book 1 and book 2. We've got Voldemort, but to me, book 3 is really where it's to me it's setting up the rest of the series. Like that, like this is book 3 is really what starts setting up what's coming.
Hmm.
Because like books 1 and 2, they can almost be like standalone, like, okay, this thing happened. Okay, this thing happened. And like just be done. But book 3 for me is really where it's like, okay, now there's something that's actually on the horizon that we're working towards.
I can see that.
So first 11 chapters of book 3 will be the next episode.
Yep. Also, what else are you reading right now?
Still reading Inheritance, book 4 of the Aragon series. Um I've got too much other stuff going on outside of reading to really spend a lot of time, as much time as I would like to read. So I know I told you I started playing in a Scottish pipe and drum band.
Hmm.
We're coming up on competition season for that, so I'm desperately trying to learn the music for competition, which is four songs for competition, trying to learn the 5 songs for St. Patrick's Day and some of the other parades that we've got lined up. So I'm trying to learn 9 songs, commit those to memory, and get my kids to gymnastics and volleyball and record 2 podcasts. So I haven't had a lot of time to do much else other than like the
That's a
required
schedule.
reading for this and do my other show. So it's been a lot.
Gotcha. Yeah, I started. I shelved the Sarah Maas book. It wasn't. It was the pacing wasn't great for me. I wasn't following that story.
Yeah, I
And
think if you would have started with the Assassin's Blade or the Assassin's whatever, the other series,
yeah,
with the one that was started off with like the 4 short stories, I think you'd have liked that one better.
Throne of Glass or no?
Yeah, it's Throne of Glass, but the first one is called I think it's called Blades of the Assassin. And
Okay, but
it's
it's that series.
yeah, it's the you could basically call it like a prequel to that series. So it's 4 stories, like 4 little novellas that set up the first book in Throne of Glass.
Okay. Yeah, but so I put that one away
Mm-hmm.
and started rereading Lord of the Rings.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah, Inheritance is pretty good so far. I got it. It's I'm enjoying it whenever I'm reading it, and then I'm like, I gotta stop because I gotta do other stuff.
gotcha.
So
All right.
having responsibilities as an adult is lame, and growing up was the biggest con that we ever told ourselves we wanted to do.
Yeah. Stay young, kids.
Stay young, kids. You're gonna regret it.
All right, Mike. Well, my family is starving too. I can see them like wasting away.
They're like
Um,
at the door. Help! We need
yeah.
food. All
Yeah,
right, well,
like
y'all go get some brunch, and we'll chat again next week, dude.
yes, sir.
All right, later. Y'all have a good day.